Let's get the vibes right first. There we go. Hey guys, it's Amber. This is my 33-month locked video, which is, it's wild that it's been 33 months. So, I was kind of going back and forth on what kind of video this should be. Of course, I haven't done an update video in a while, so I wanted to do that. But also, there's just so much to talk about that I feel like that could go off the rails really quick. So I decided to make this more of a question and answer video. I'm going to be answering some of the questions that people have sent me in my inbox or left under my videos, but I'm also going to be answering just some random questions that I've seen people answer on YouTube. So I want to thank Millicent Swift on YouTube for inspiration behind a lot of these questions. So let's just get into it. The first question, what method did you use to start your locks? So I started with the interlocking method or the sister locking method, and I didn't start them myself. I went to see somebody, a certified sister locks trainee who started them. How many locks do you have? I have about 350 locks. I've lost some, I've added some back, lost some again. So I don't know the exact number, but when I started my journey, I would count them religiously and almost obsessively. So I know I started with 352 locks exactly, and I'm somewhere around there still. Okay, third question, how do you maintain your locks? So I still go to a sister locks consultant. Actually, I think she's a trainee too. Not the trainee who I originally went to. I go to someone else now, and she's fantastic, and she maintains my locks for me. I go about every 6 to 7 weeks to get them maintained, and that seems to work well for me. And of course, we just stick with the interlocking sister lock method. Okay, next question. Do you have any locks that are unique or strange? I 100% do. All of my locks, first of all, are kind of strange. They are so frizzy. I have halos on all of my locks, so I'm gonna get up close. Let me pull a couple. So I think you guys can see there are frizzies all around my locks, just down the whole thing. They have like these rings of frizzies around them. And I was told, when I started my journey, yes, your hair is frizzy, but over time, all of those hairs on the outside are gonna get pulled into the middle. And I was like, okay, cool. So they're gonna be really smooth. That has not happened for me. They have stayed so frizzy. And like even the hairs at the very top of my head, when I put my hand back here, can you guys see that? Frizzy. It's just very frizziness, all the frizziness. But that's okay. They're not perfect. And that's fine with me. So yes, all of my locks are strange. But then I have special ones in the back of my head that are like bunched, and they drive me really bonkers. So you can probably see this one. This is a good example. The back of my head, some of my locks just have like these bulbs right in the middle. That's bunching. Let me see if I can find another one for you guys. Yeah, and there's another one with just like these random bulbs in the middle. They're supposed to be nice and straight, and they kind of have like these, you know, things that stick out. And I don't know what caused that. Usually what causes it is if you stop braiding and banding too soon, the locks kind of move around and crinkle on themselves is the only word I can think of. They kind of, you know, bunch, I guess is the best word, bunch on themselves. But I braided and banded for the longest time. Like, I think my loctician had me braid and band well over a year. I think into like a year and a half, I kept braiding and banding. And so I'm not sure why I have the bunching. The only thing I can think of is that maybe because these are in the back of my head and it doesn't seem to be happening anywhere else, that maybe the friction of those hairs rubbing against my clothes is kind of making them bunch. But, you know, it's in the back of my head, so it's kind of hidden and it doesn't really bother me. If it were all over my head, I think I would be more bothered by it. But yeah, so those are my weird locks. Also, I gotta remember to look in the camera and not at the view. Anyway, next question. What products do you use on your hair? So this is something that I get asked a lot, and it has changed a lot. So at the beginning, I was really religiously into the Sister Locs line only. So I used the Sister Locs starter shampoo and the Sister Locs moisture treatment after several months when that was okay. And then after I ditched the starter shampoo, I moved to the Sister Locs green tea shampoo. But then that became harder to get. So I switched to Dr. Bronner's, which was great, but Dr. Bronner's was like almost too harsh for me. It just dried things out a little bit too much. So now I am on Pacifica brand. It's all vegan, no parabens. I'll see if I can put a picture over here. That would be better quality than me just holding it up. But I use the Pacifica clarifying shampoo because I really don't want to have buildup in my locks. And then I use the vegan silk conditioner, and I'll put the pictures up here. So those are the products I use for, you know, my routine, my wash day routine. Next question, will you ever combine your locks? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. I'm really happy with this size. I feel like it's a good number for me. I think a reason a lot of people end up combining their locks is because they feel overwhelmed by the maintenance of a lot of tiny locks, but I don't really have that many locks. I have 350, which is a low number as far as Sister Locs go. So I feel content with, you know, the way my locks are. Next question. Have you ever thought about coloring your hair? Yes, I think about coloring my hair a lot. Less often than I used to, but still a lot. And the reason for that is because I have, you know, I've done a video about it, the follicle problem, which is, you know, the bulbs, the hair follicles, the bulbs themselves. When the hairs shed, the bulbs stay attached to those hairs. But because the hairs can't fall out of the locks, the bulbs just kind of stay too. And it ends up looking like white little dots all over my locks. And that bugs me. Actually, let me see if I can show you guys some. Let me see if I can show you. I don't know if you guys can see. I feel like, no, you can't. And this is a perfect example if I haven't ended up dyeing my locks. Sometimes I feel like those white dots are really noticeable, but other times I feel like they're not noticeable at all. So I haven't really dyed my hair because, of course, any type of dye is going to be damaging. It can be. And if it's not damaging, it at least alters the natural makeup of your hair. So I try to avoid that as much as I can. Also, I heard that dye doesn't necessarily dye the follicles, so it's possible it wouldn't help. So yes, I have thought about dyeing my hair. No, I haven't done it yet, and I don't know that I will. How often do you wash your hair? So I wash my hair once a week with shampoo. If I feel like I've done a lot of sweating that week, though, I will rinse it midweek with just water. So like say I did a lot of stuff, during the week, I'll rinse it on Wednesday to get all of that sweat out, and then I'll shampoo on Friday. But I try not to shampoo more than once a week because I don't want to over dry my hair. All right, next question. How often do you condition your hair? I condition my hair once every 2 weeks or so, sometimes 3 weeks. Again, I don't want to over moisturize. So, it's kind of a balance. You don't want to over wash and over dry, but you also don't want to over moisturize because too much moisture can make your hair weak. So I find that every 2 to 3 weeks works well for me. Another reason I don't condition as often as some people do is because what kind of intrigues me about locks is that they kind of moisturize themselves. I find that my hair, now that it's locked, keeps moisture a lot better. And there's a reason for that. It's because all of the hair is kind of it's collected and gathered, right? And so the oil that we naturally produce at our scalp can more easily kind of travel down the shaft and stay on the shaft and coat the whole shaft, instead of when my hair was loose and really, really all over the place in afro form. It just makes it harder for the natural oils to travel the whole shaft. So long way of saying the hair will moisturize itself, but if you condition too much, you can also kind of interrupt that process. The body can stop producing as much sebum, which is that natural hair oil, because it knows it's going to get it from an outside source. So as much as possible, I want to protect, what my body naturally produces. So I condition pretty infrequently. Who are your lock inspirations? Ooh. I really love Dark and Lovely's locks. I think they're beautiful. Of course, Millicent Swift's locks. I really like her locks as well. What is the weirdest question you received about your locks? Oh, weird questions. I don't really receive a ton of weird questions about them. I remember one time I had this guy walk up to me at the store, and he just looks at my hair and he goes, "What is that?" And that was weird. It's one thing to say like, "Oh, what are those?" Or, what style is that? But he just said, "What is that?" It's hair, sir. Anyway, that's the weirdest question I received. Next question. How do you like to wear your hair? Like this. I'm really lazy. I usually just wear it like this, part it in the middle, down to the sides. Sometimes I will pull it back, put it in a scrunchie if I want it out of the way, or I'll do like a half up, half down type of thing. I don't really go crazy about styling it, mostly because I don't know how. I see some people who really go off with their sister locks. Like they'll do flat twist and cornrows, or they'll put them in box braids, or put beads on them, all this stuff. I don't know how to do all of that, so I just kind of leave my hair alone and just kind of wear it down like this. Okay, next question. How long was your hair when you locked? It was about 14 inches. I'll put a picture over here. It came about here, actually. So I'm just now starting to see my length come back, because when I was a loose natural and I would blow dry my hair straight, it would be about here. And I locked, and then it shrank up. So it looked like my hair was only about this long. So now, this is my shrunken length. Of course, when I pull on it, it stretches. But yeah, this is about where my hair is now. I wonder if I stretched it out, how long it would be. Let's see. Okay, if I stretch it out, it comes like mid-back length. So it has grown. All right. So anyway, I hope that answers your question. When I locked, my hair was like this stretched out. How did you get through the awkward phase? I was, you know, it was interesting because I locked in the pandemic. So we weren't leaving our houses that much. I locked in 2019, right before the pandemic hit. So I had a really awkward phase, but I didn't really go out that much. So it was fine. I think if I had to go out during the awkward phase, I wore a lot of hats, scarves, stuff like that. Or I just went out and didn't care. That's that. Next question. Why did you decide to lock your hair? So I decided to lock my hair because I was so frustrated with my loose natural hair. It was growing. I had taken really good care of it. But of course, the longer loose natural hair gets, the more work it requires. And so I found that I was spending, 6 to 8 hours every Saturday washing and conditioning my hair and detangling it took so long. Even when I had conditioner in it, a good slippy conditioner, it still just took a long time. And so what I found was that I was like, I stopped being nice to my hair because I wanted to speed up the process. So I would sit there with my brush, my Denman brush, and just rake through it because I just wanted to get it done. I didn't want it to take 8 hours, right? And in trying to rush, I was ripping my hair out. And I didn't want to do that after spending so much time trying to grow it. So I locked because I wanted to still have my hair be natural, but I didn't want all the maintenance. I didn't want it to take so long to take care of it. Next question. Did you have any unraveling at the beginning? No, actually, I didn't have any unraveling at the beginning, which was pretty cool. I really didn't play about that braiding and banding, but also I think because my hair texture was so tight, once it was in the locks, it just kind of stayed in the locks. Next question. What made you decide on your lock size? So I didn't really pick my lock size. Once you go to get sister locks, it's kind of predetermined for you based on whatever system they have and your hair density. They kind of pick your lock size for you. But the reason I went with sister locks instead of traditional locks, I can talk about that, is because I wanted the versatility of sister locks. I wanted to be able to style them in all sorts of ways, which is ironic because I don't do any of that now. But it's nice to have the option to, right? Like, these are small enough that from a distance, sometimes they even look like loose hair. You can kind of pin a couple back if you want to. You can just kind of play with them more because there's so much more to play with, as opposed to traditional locks that are just bigger. They're a little bit less flexible in that way. So that's why I decided on smaller sister locks. Next question. How do you keep your hair moisturized? So this kind of goes back to the conditioner thing. I condition every 2 or 3 weeks, but because I haven't interrupted my body's like natural moisturization system, right, with the sebum kind of traveling down the locks, my hair stays pretty moisturized most of the time. If it's feeling a little bit dry, I will spray it with water and then put some not avocado oil. Is it? Yeah. I'll spray it with water, put some avocado oil on it. I'll mix whatever essential oil I'm feeling that day into my avocado oil, and I'll just kind of put that on to seal in, put that on to seal in the moisture from the water. But other than that, that's pretty much it. How long do you intend to keep your locks? Oh, forever. I'll keep them as long as I can. I love them. I love, not having to worry about my hair in the morning. I love being able to, if I need to run to the store, just get up, take my bonnet off and go, shake and go. I love that. That's stuff I could not do as a loose natural because of my hair texture. I just always had to put that extra bit of thought and effort into my hair. So I love that all of that's kind of been reduced, and it leaves so much room for more stuff in life, right? Like if a friend asked me out for a drink kind of last minute, I don't have to think about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do with my hair? Or my hair is not ready, or I got to set it, I got to do a braid out. It's just, I can go. That hair freedom is really nice. So that's why I intend to keep my locks for as long as I can. And the last question, do you air dry or use heat to dry your locks? Heat can be damaging, as we all know, so I try to air dry as much as possible. I find, though, that the longer my hair gets, of course, the longer it takes to air dry. And, you know, if your hair is just sitting around wet, that's when you run into the risk of having mold and stuff grow in your locks. That hasn't happened to me yet, but it is something I'm becoming more mindful of now that my hair is getting longer. So if I ever find that my hair is really taking an extraordinary amount of time to dry, then I will probably start blow drying it. Maybe not with heat, just with regular temperature air, but yeah, air drying might not work for me too much longer. That is it. Those are all the questions that I collected. Hopefully this gives you guys a good idea of my hair and where it's at 3 years. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.